Welcome, everybody, to the Social Dig, the greatest underrated show on the World Wide Web. I'm your host, Mr. Rob G. And tonight, we're going to be digging into the topics that keep you talking and the talk that keeps you thinking. So come on in, kick your feet up, get an ice cold beverage like I have here. Let's get ready to join the conversation. Welcome, everybody, to the late night calling show right here on the Social Dig. You know, we've been doing this thing for a little while now, and we're going to be doing this a little more often because, yeah, things are kind of lining up and putting themselves in place to where we can do this more often. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do this 5 days a week. Maybe we'll do this 3 days a week. I'm still up in the air about it. Just really depends on our participation from viewers like yourself, the audience. That's right. As we go ahead and take a look out here in the audience and see who has come on in for the night real quick. Let me check here, going into the comments. This is a little different than what I normally do with this program, rather. So still getting used to it. We do have Bomber in the building saying lucky number one. Take that, race fan. That's right. Race fan is usually number one. Bomber is number one tonight. Welcome, Bomber. Thanks for coming in. Tamarkman in the building saying, Bomber, way to go. Thanks for coming in. Joey Glowy, thanks for showing up here tonight. Dr. Love, Love V Love, thanks for coming on into the show on this late night calling show. Fast Hemi as well, thanks for showing up. We appreciate you participating in the show. We have Paramarv in the building. Paramarv, thanks for coming on in here. Frankie B saying, okay, I'm here now. Hey, Frankie B, thanks for coming on in as well. Thirsty, I see you out there. Thirsty, thanks for showing up. Let's see. Lil Cam 51 saying 10-4 right back at you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Lil Cam 51 in the building. And Lil Cam 51 just became a member. Do appreciate you. Now I got to add you to the list here, which I will do, and we'll be going over that in just a moment here. Thanks for showing up tonight, Lil Cam 51, and thanks for your support of the channel, helping make this thing go round. That's what it's all about, having a place to do this, and yes, that's what we're going to do. Paul Damon, thanks for coming on in. Appreciate you showing on up. Emperor Penguin, just what the doctor ordered. Appreciate you showing on up here tonight. And let's see, what else do we have? We move through the list, moving down. Looks like that might be it for now. Nope, Magneticus Attractus, I do see you out there, sir. I thought this was tomorrow night. You know what? We just decided to do this on the fly. You know, why not? We're going to go ahead and do that. Audio is cutting in and out. Okay, that could be to the fact that I have this music playing here. So let me lower that down. It could be a conflict. It might be. So something else we got to figure out. Brianne, I see you in here. Thanks for coming on in as well. Kai Snyder, thanks for coming on in. Appreciate you. As we get ready to get into the show here, let me go ahead and bring up some of the stuff that we always bring up, which is going to be the slideshow, right? The slideshow. So obviously, this is the Social Dig late night calling show. And I definitely want to let everyone know that you can call this number at any time, which is 856-843-3444. That's 856-THE-DIGG. Or if you're outside the United States, you can dial 001 first, then 856-843-3444 or 001-856-THE-DIGG. I'm going to test it out a little bit tonight because I do have it set up through this Bluetooth, but I don't know how well this is going to work. Obviously, there is a link where you can definitely jump onto the stage as well. Okay. And let me see here. Let me go ahead and hide this message here. All right, and get into some more of the stuff here. As you saw just a moment ago, we want to thank our members. We do have memberships available right here on the channel. Just helps make things better. Helps allow me to put on the best show possible, the best aesthetically pleasing show possible, and eventually hire on some editors and stuff. I want that top-notch, top-level quality content. That's why you're in at the ground level. And we have nowhere but room to grow, nowhere to go grow but up. And that's what we're going to do here. Always consistently attempting to raise the bar. as we will continue to do while we have these conversations that move the needle. Let me go ahead and say what's up to the members. And we have, just as you saw earlier, Lil Cam 51, who has joined the membership, which you do appreciate. We also have Frankie B. We have Ann Joanne, The Beekeeper, D. Nunley, Maggie M10, Flat 6, Miss Catherine Jones, Cosmic Joe Chronicles, West W. Decker, Steel Pooh 69, and Polly Rodderman. Thanks so much for helping as well. And truthfully, everyone helps just by showing up and participating in the show. You help make the show what it's going to be. So all of you are appreciated. Just that, when it comes to paying these subscriptions and doing the things that we have to do to make sure that we can level up, the financial support does help. Super chats are open and they're always open. Super thanks are open even after the show is over. So those of you who may be viewing this in the future, there is a little super thanks button right next to your comment or at the bottom where you can click and give anything. Anything is going to help and go to the overall total goal of making this the best thing possible out there. And we're going to continue to do that. And I'm going to take a moment here, actually, before we jump into real conversation and just kind of address. I'm just looking around ufology and I've noticed some things, right? You guys know me by at this point, what my intent is, the type of person that I am. I've never been anything but a genuine guy when it comes to doing these shows and having these conversations. It never has been more than that. And so I find myself surprised and shocked when I'm in, I feel like I've been included in some of this high school drama within ufology, and I just don't get it because I feel that I'm cool with everybody out there, and so it's strange to me to find situations where uh, I may be someone that's looked at as a foe within this community or someone that there's no reason. I've never given anyone a reason to feel that way, and I don't feel that way about anybody out there. So, even though it appears that some people may have feelings about some of the things that we do, I, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say to it. I won't really call out names or engage in whatever this drama thing is. I'll continue to do the things that I do, which are conversations that move the needle. And if you have time to waste and spend on drama, excuse me, then you're not moving the needle. Drama does not move the needle, and it has no place here. So I really won't speak too much on it. I'm sure the person knows who they are, who's involved in that. And it's just like if you get this message, just continue doing things to help the overall movement for the people, right? Do this for the people. Don't do it for yourself. Do it for have a real reason to do what you're doing. And I think you'll find happiness in that. I think you'll find satisfaction in that, where you won't have time to worry about other people and what other people are doing. Because everyone knows what we're doing here is simply having conversations to move the needle, nothing more, nothing less. It is the most important thing for us to do within this community, and we will continue to do that. So you got to take your feelings and you got to do something else with them. Um, or just DM me on the low, DM me in the background. Let me know how you feel. Just talk to me. I'm here. I'll give you the phone number all the time. 856-843-3444. That's 856 the dig. That line is always open. So if you have an issue with what we're doing on the social dig, let me know. Talk to me. Talk to me. Don't just do this weird uh passive aggressive sort of thing that I'm seeing being done out there. It's something I had to speak to, and because it bothers me, because I know I'm not the type of person that should be on the end of anyone's drama or even be included in anyone's drama. So kind of just bothers me when I see it out there. And some of you may know what I'm talking about, some of you may not, but it's just something that we had to address here before as we start the show. So, with that being said, Fast Hit Me is in the building. Do appreciate you becoming a member. I don't have my sound effects lined up. I need to get that straight, but do appreciate you showing love and becoming a part of the social soldier, the social nation. I haven't really decided what we're going to do there. Also, just to kind of lay it out there, because I'm like, oh, memberships, is that different from not having a membership? So there is no difference, really. I mean, the membership essentially, when you take the step to do that, you are literally taking a step to help the show overall. I do plan on setting up things like movie nights, which is still in the works. We talked about that, where maybe we get together and watch a movie or something, one of these UFO movies, or we'll do something special, but I don't really want to, separate those who can't support from those who can, and just letting everybody know that as a member, you are literally helping make this show be possible month to month. So, much love and appreciation out there for you guys. And let's see, going back through the chat here. I think I posted a link, but I don't see, this is the thing. And this is with this new system. It's a totally different system than what we were using, where it was very easy to get people on stage. I don't know if you have to go through additional steps with this new system, but the link should be posted at the top of the chat. Um, and I don't know if it's like a one click thing like it was before where you get right in. But it is posted at the top of the screen. So let me see. Let me go back here in the chat a little bit. Magneticus. What did I do now? Magneticus, you haven't built the time machine yet, man. We're still waiting on that. We're still waiting on the time machine, man. That's what you haven't done. That's what you've done now. You have not allowed us to travel back into the past, which is what we're waiting for you to do, sir. Let's see. Going back a little bit, just make sure I didn't miss anything, any comments here. Um, yes, where's the link to join? So let me check the YouTube real quick because it should be, I literally posted it before the show. Let me check again. Yeah. Welcome all. Yep. Just right up, clicking the link. We're calling oh shit. Okay. Shoot. I'm sorry. Yeah. It didn't add. Yeah. Okay. Yikes. All right. Hold on. Let me do that. Let me do that as we speak here. Okay. It's gonna be a little strange here. Because I have to get in the studio to do it. Okay. All right. Are we back? Okay, we're back. All right. So let me see. Invite the guest. Let me go ahead and email that to myself. Okay, and according to this, the web browser to use, if at all possible, is the updated version of Chrome. Any device that can run Chrome on it, desktop, laptops, Mac, iOS, Android. We recommend getting the device you successfully used in the past on video meetings. Okay, internet connection, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it looks like it should be pretty straightforward. Let me send this over. The last couple shows we've done, we haven't needed to use this because we kind of just been going over some stuff. So, all right, I just sent it to myself as we walk through this here. Give me just another second here so we can try to add this to the show. Appreciate your patience. Appreciate your patience here. All right, let's see. Trying that. Copy that link. Okay. All right, let's give this a shot. So I'm putting this in the chat. That should work. That link should work. How it works, we're about to find out together as we wait for someone to try to click it and come in. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. Definitely is going to be interesting. Okay, so you guys are hearing me clear. Bomber was getting static, but you guys hear me clear? Because if it's only Bomber, if you refresh Bomber, that might fix it. Okay, everybody else looks like they are okay. So, all right, we'll see what happens. Weird link, right? Yeah, let me try to access it. It's a thing I've never had to I thought about trying to do this at a time, but let me see. It says don't open link, weird link, don't open link. No, it's legit. It's legit ski. Says, yeah, it's brought up. Okay, I popped it in the browser for me. For me. Okay, got it, Paramore. Okay, just with the first word I speak, that might be this filter here. Hold on. Okay, how about now? Do you still get the static? You still get the static? Okay, do you hear static still? Are we still getting static, guys? Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's this denoising feature on this interface, and I think that's what's causing that clipping. So I think we resolved that. Okay. So yeah, so as far as the link goes, so I've accessed it from an outside browser, and it seems to be almost like the previous setup. It brings you into the lobby. It should say you will enter the studio as a guest, and then the host can add you to the broadcast at any time. So let me try to do that. I'm going to add myself, which is probably going to create some feedback issues. Oh, 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 yep, 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 yep. Yep. Feedback hell. That was feedback hell. However, it did bring you the image up on the screen. So if you're connecting properly, I should see you and I should be able to add you to the show. Try calling the number Magneticus. You could be the first to test that out, actually. That would be awesome. Let me make sure that that is open. That way we can attempt to do that. Do not disturb is off. Let me just make sure we're all good here. All right, do not disturb is off. All right, give it a shot, Magneticus. Try calling the number and let me see if you join the show, if we're able to get you to join the show. Or anyone. Let me do this. Let me try it like this here. I know this is going to do the same damn thing with the feedback loop.
Hello. Please stay after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect.
Rob G. Very strange. Okay, let me call me. Horrible. All right, so it's not going to play through there. Quick second, guys. Quick second here.
Bluetooth disconnected.
All right, I see you, caller. Give me just a second here.
Bluetooth connected.
Okay. Are you there? Yeah. Hello. Is this Magneticus? Let, yeah, it's for whatever reason it's not coming across on the Bluetooth, which is strange. So yeah, go ahead. Okay, yeah. Go ahead, hang up. I'm gonna try to figure this out. We'll talk about something until I figure this out. All right. Okay, so the Bluetooth works for audio, but not for calls. I'll have to figure that out. So this is the late night, maybe call-in show if we can get it the call-in fix real quick. For right now, we'll just talk about some stuff, man. Go ahead and throw some stuff in the chat, and let's see what we can do as far as just having a good conversation. What do you guys want to talk about? It's all up to you. Let's leave the topics up to you tonight until we figure this out here. It's this particular app is not playing through Bluetooth, and that's strange. But we'll have to make do. All right, so Yeah, Thomas Rock. Technical problems per se. I have two studios. So I have this studio at home. Then I have the studio that is I have an office building where I do the Spaced Out Radio Show. The interface I use at the office is the one that I use for the call-in show. So this interface that I'm using here, I've never taken a call on it, although it is set up to do that, but it is not doing what it's supposed to do. So yeah, so we're gonna have to just do something else for now. So I maybe what I'll do is tomorrow I'll go up there and grab the. There's a two-way cable that I can use. That I if I had that now, I'd be able to use it without the Bluetooth. So yeah, so we figured that out live on air. So let's get into something. Let's talk about something here tonight, guys. With Discord, you can create listening parties. I'm setting up a Discord for the channel just so everybody knows. I'm definitely doing that because we talked about being able to do movies and things like that, movie viewings with the audience, and I want to do that with you guys. Especially we have the members that are doing things here, so I want to make sure that there's something that we can all do together. So that is on the horizon. I think I believe I set up the Discord for this channel, but I just haven't done anything with it yet. So I'm just looking into all the different things that we would be able to do using Discord. So that is on the horizon. We're definitely doing that for sure. Lil Cat 51 says, yes, I'll join. Awesome. So I'll work on that tonight or tomorrow rather. And we'll set up another call-in show for tomorrow just so we can go ahead and make sure we do it the right way. The whole problem is this new software that I'm using. It is different. It's very different from what I'm used to using, which makes when you know a program as well as I knew the other one, you can do the shows seamlessly. It's clockwork. But with this, it's a new thing that pops up that we keep trying, and I think once we get it locked in, we will be 100% on this, and which is a reason why we haven't done the regular social dig shows. So I think what I'll do, because I still want to do the asteroid show, because there's even more information coming out about this asteroid that they're talking about has a chance, even though small, chance of hitting this planet in 2032, which is only 7 short years away from now. And the problem with that asteroid is that it will we can kind of see it right now. It's close enough to Earth where we can still kind of view it, but by April, I want to say it's April, it'll start heading away from the planet and it won't be visible again for us to kind of track it or know what the trajectory is going to be until 2028. So we're talking about we won't see this thing again for 3 years. An asteroid that has a chance of hitting this planet, which they are calling a city killer. And by the way, the odds of it hitting are growing. The odds of it hitting are growing from even a few weeks ago when they gave the initial reports. I think it was like 1 in 67. Now it's like 1 in 32. And the odds keep growing on that within just a week or so, couple weeks. So that's definitely something that we should have on our radar because when you think about it, if we're going to be sitting up here listening to people give the dates for disclosure or dates when the alien presence is supposed to show up or 2027 or 2034, this happens before one of those dates. So that's what the show is going to be about. I'm thinking about running that one tomorrow um, because the question is, will we have this, event with this rock before we get disclosure? Before disclosure as far as through the government, and that's a whole conversation that we're going to have. So I'm setting that show up. I wasn't going to run it because the time had passed, the moment had passed on the asteroid, but everything that I'm reading on it, and even as recent as today, they've updated the chances, and the chances of it hitting are growing, even though they're still small. But here's what you have to know, and I don't want to go too deep into it because we'll be talking about it tomorrow, but There have been a lot of these rocks that come in come in from the sun where we can't see them until they're already here. If you remember the Chelyabinsk asteroid from in Russia, 2013, we didn't know that was here until it just appeared in the sky and blew up over that town and blew out windows and did all that. Right? We had no clue that that thing was coming. No clue. And because of the angle that it came in on, it was able to blow up over the city. But it had it come in at a different angle, that would have been something we would probably be still recovering from something like that. So think that's in one of the things, like I said, we won't get too deep into it, but one of the things that really concerns me about things like that is aside from the UFO phenomena, I always talk about the other threats coming from above. That's one of the things I've had dreams about things like that occurring. Where all of a sudden a rock just shows up in our sky and does the unthinkable. And it's just bananas to feel safe enough to say that we nothing like that would happen when we have a event or history that shows that things like that happened here. We can look at the moon and see it happens all the time up there. Be it that it's small objects or one not ones that we've seen in our lifetime that have been catastrophic. But yeah, you gotta open your mind up to that part of it, and then the hope that maybe hopefully the government is spending money on planetary defense. So that's about as far as I'll go into that because we'll just end up talking about that on the show that I'll set up tomorrow. It'll literally be a discussion about that. So definitely make sure that you're here for that. We'll try to run that one early, maybe 3 o'clock Pacific, 3 p.m. Pacific is what I'm shooting for. Put a small slideshow together for that, and it's really more of just the discussion on that. Really, not a lot to show, but we'll talk about historical times that this has happened, and we'll look at the ones that we didn't see, the ones that just literally showed up. Most of the ones that made the news are ones that we didn't even know were coming, right? So, and then you got to ask yourself, and I'll leave it on this: if you saw "Don't Look Up," would there be a moment where we wouldn't be told if something like that was about to happen? What's the benefit of them telling us, right? Do the extraterrestrials know that there's a trajectory? Is that why they're showing up in numbers the way that they are right now? Does it have nothing to do with them wanting to disclose? Are they coming to see a show? You know, that's where it gets troubling, and that's where we can kind of talk about that. But and we'll save that for tomorrow's show. I'll be reposting the thumbnail and that information, and we'll run that show tomorrow. But tonight, what can we talk about? Let's talk about let's talk about the drones. I don't know. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. I can talk about anything. Just let me know what you want to talk about, and we'll do that. Let's talk about this. I was on Bigfoot Michigan Rob show earlier today, which is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome, guys. If you haven't seen that show, I posted it in the community tab on this channel here, and it's a cool watch. It's really cool to not be the one interviewing, right? Sometimes and just being a guest. It's really it's relaxing, right? Because you kind of just get to sit back and answer questions and things like that. So I think it was a pretty good show. I know some of you did show up for that, which was awesome as well. And it's some of the more of the same. Some more of the conversations that we have here just brought those over to Rob's channel, and we had I think, a pretty good discussion over there, which is worth going to watch. What else do we have? We had the Jimmy Blue show. What did you guys think about the Jimmy Blue show that we just did this past weekend? Something different, right? Something different. It also aired on this channel also. Jimmy Blue, who is a person that, as I said during the interviews, I don't want to say, is a Jimi Hendrix imitator. That's a lot of people call those acts that perform, go in character and perform as other artists. And from what I watched and before the show and all that, when I looked into him, he was more of an embodier of Jimi Hendrix, and it was just really awesome to see someone who could really channel that energy when you're talking about a great like that, because there aren't many people out there that can turn around and and recreate or I don't want to say, recreate is maybe, it's not really recreating, but sit there and play on that level, and also, have the same mannerisms and things like that. It was amazing. I've seen other Jimi Hendrix, you know, inspired shows out there, uh, artists that portray Jimi Hendrix on stage, and Jimmy Blue was the best one that I saw, and literally kind of takes you there with the studying that he's done on Jimi Hendrix, and it was a really good show. It was really a lot of good information there, and it's kind of cool to be able to do a show that doesn't necessarily always have to have something to do with extraterrestrials, right? Or it's cool, and that's really this channel. The Social Dig is built for that. The Social Dig is not necessarily a UFO show, which is why I now have the UFO news show, which is a designated show for UFOs. Because now what that will do now is allow me to take the Social Dig and to kind of do more than just UFOs under that umbrella, right? So kind of creating a space where we could have other conversations that don't have to do specifically with, this particular topic, and we can kind of grow under that. So that's kind of the plan here, and it's been the plan from day one. But as I came into this space, UFOs were obviously and still are, still is, one of the biggest subjects when it pertains to things that affect humanity. But we've covered other things too as well, and we will continue to do that. So, I don't really expect when we do a show like that, and then that show is presented to a UFO audience, for a UFO audience to really accept it in the way that someone that wasn't from a UFO audience would, right? Because if we did that show in front of a Hendrix audience, or we did that show in front of a rock and roll audience, then I think the show is received in a different light, right? So that's why it's still worth doing it, because there are definitely individuals out there who would just be interested in that sort of conversation. So sometimes you got to go into it knowing that it might not be the most successful show when you are presenting it in front of a audience that is looking for topics related to the phenomena, right? But like I said, sometimes you got to do it, and I think that we did that. I think that it was pretty awesome as well. Um, let's see. Yeah, yeah. Bomber says embodier is a great word for him. Is that the spelling? I believe it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he was really. I'm an artist myself, so that's another kind of thing that got me there. Like I have my guitar literally right here over this shoulder, which I will play for you one day. Once I get my chops up good enough, then I'll make that a thing. Maybe we hit 1,000 subscribers or something on this channel, and I'll do a 1,000 subscriber musical show or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. We're still a few hundred subs off from that, but I think we can hit that at some point. But just trying to figure out things that we could do, and yeah, see, let's see. Stargazer says he pulls it off better than anybody I've ever seen. And that's just the truth. That's just the truth. I looked around, I saw other performers perform the act, and they weren't bad at all. It's just that, like, when you And that's why I said that if they were going to do it, which they've done movies, but if they were going to do a current day movie on Jimi Hendrix, that's who you cast. That's who you cast. He has the whole visual aesthetic. He has the licks are you could tell that he's really studied Jimmy in the music, and that's definitely who you lean on for something like that. And he should be getting a lot more shine as far as the what he's trying to do. I think we have somebody in the back here. I'm going to try to add you to this. I don't know how this is going to work. We're trying this live right now. Let's see how it works. Okay, this wait a minute. All right, so let me try this. Let me get off of this screen, go back to my main screen here. All right, well, let me try to add you here. Okay, so we got Lee in the building, and go ahead and speak. So let's see how you sound.
Hey, good morning, G. Can you hear me okay?
Hey, yes, we got you. Great. So this is awesome. Thank you for coming on stage and helping me figure this out as we have. What did you have for us tonight, Lee?
Well, G, I've had some quite upsetting um, things in the last few days.
Uh oh. Okay.
So
Did you want to
um,
share?
I'm going to relay what's happened.
Okay.
Um, my neighbour, just next door to me, her young boy, he's an 8-year-old boy, has been experiencing some psychosis and hallucinations over the last few months. And as a result, yeah, the police have been called out on many occasions. And a few days ago, about 4 days ago, they were called out again, and I went around on a welfare check for the mother and the young boy. She had two boys. I think he's about 8 years old, and she has a 12-year-old boy. And the young boy said, um, "I don't want to live here anymore. Can I come and live with you?" And I said, "Well, why do you want to come and live with me?" And at that moment, there were four police officers in the building, and he was trying to take a statement off the mother. And I said, "Can you just be quiet for a minute?" And the police officer assaulted me, put my arm up my back and broke my arm, and now I'm off work with two fractures in my arm.
Wow. 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 I'm sorry to hear that, Lee. I'll tell you something that happened to me is very close to that. What is the result? So they did this with the kid there, or what was the scene?
What the scene was, I was sat down next to the young boy, um, trying to calm him down because he's been freaking out. He's been screaming at the walls and been having hallucinations. Um, and I was sat down with him, and I managed to calm him down. But this police officer was being quite boisterous and trying to take control of the situation. And I just said to her, I stood up and I put my hand on the police officer and I said, "Can you just be quiet for 1 minute?" And he just assaulted me. Um,
Wow.
but my main concern was for the young lad, for this little
Yeah.
boy, and his mother, who's a wonderful mother. She's um, she's an immigrant from Syria. Wonderful mother, very caring. We pass food over to each other every week. But Okay, so I'm off work now for a couple of months, 2 or 3 months maybe. Um, there's um, proceedings in place to get some compensation for the assault. But that's secondary. My main concern was for this young boy. Um, um, it was very upsetting to see him. He was screaming and out of control, and almost like he was possessed. Um, yeah, so that's where we're at, G.
Wow. What came of that situation? Where is he? Is he okay? Is he with
He,
parents?
he took, I think the police come out again yesterday. I missed that. I was uh, in hospital having scans on my arm. Um, um, I'm not sure what's come about that, G. But it's very worrying. I'm very worrying about this young little boy. Um, Whether it's just like a mental health issue or something like that. But yeah, very concerned about him. Okay, I've got a broken arm. I can deal with that. The solicitors deal with that. I've been told I'll get compensation for this, but that's secondary. My main concern uh, at the time, and still now, is for the welfare of this young boy.
Yeah. That is very noble of you to want to be that person. And here's where I wouldn't even normally, give advice or even talk about anything like this, only because you brought it up and something happened similarly. And it's strange that this is what we're talking about because just yesterday, I have teenage children here in the house, and my son is the younger of the two. He's like 14. Um, so what? This is what happened. So there was this strange car sitting outside of our house yesterday, and my girl brought this to my attention. So I go ahead and I go out there because it's parked the wrong way on the street and it's sitting right in front of the house. And I'm just like, it's fully tinted windows all the way around. You could not see inside. So I'm concerned about that. So I go ahead and I walk outside to check this out. And as I do, a gentleman gets out of the car, out of the truck, and he begins to walk up to me and he's talking, he's saying that he's looking for his child. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, he gives me some information. He says this kid ran away. And I say, wow, okay, we have a kid here, and it could be maybe one of his friends. And I told him we would check with him. I was like, but yeah, we wouldn't. There would never be a situation where we'd have a kid that had ran off and would be able to be harbored or staying under this roof, without having police and parents and all those things involved. And we exchanged numbers, and I found out that this kid was a friend of my son. So now there's this
Right.
whole
Okay.
other element
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he had happened to come by the house, uh, I guess earlier that morning, which I was unaware of, and he didn't say anything. He always has friends over. His friend came over, and his friend left, and so by the time all this is happening, this kid is already gone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and right after that, the police show up. And so saying the same thing to the police, bring my son out there. Then I find out that my son did know that he ran away and that he was actually trying to help him, come in and take a shower so that he could stay away from his parents. And so we found ourselves in this weird little situation where
Yeah,
it's
man. Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
where it's
Yeah.
not
I
really
know.
something that I would approve of, but my son, being that that's his friend, kind of invited that situation in. So it's funny that you bring that up, and it's a situation. A reason why I'm saying this and even saying what I'm saying now is because you'll find yourself in a situation where a kid may come to you and say that they need help because of things that are happening at home. And there may literally be some bad things happening at home.
Well,
And
I don't know, Rob. I'll tell you what. That day, early in the morning, I'm just getting a little bit of feedback here now. I don't know if you're getting that, but that day
Mhm.
I was taking my dogs out about 7:30 in the morning. So it's just like dawn, still a bit dark, and this young lad was. Um, where I live, there's a balcony, and we live opposite each other. And this young lad was stood there in his pajamas. Um, and I said, "Hey, you okay?" And he said, um, "I don't want to live in this house anymore. Can I come and live with you?" I thought, I won't swear, but I thought, what the? I said, um, "Where's your mum?" And he said, "She's asleep." I said, "Well, go back inside and speak to your mum, and I'll be back in a bit." Right, so after coming back with the dogs, and like I said, later that day, the police arrived. There was four police officers in the flat, and well, one second, and, and well, that's when the incident occurred. I managed to calm the lad down. And I was trying to talk to him. He said, "I don't want to live here anymore." And I said, "Well, I was actually sat down on the sofa, and I said, well, why don't you want to live here anymore?" And this police officer was going on, and I just stood up and touched, literally, brushed my hand against him, said, "Can you just be quiet for a minute?" And he insulted me. So, yeah, you just find yourself in these situations
yeah,
where, where you're trying to do the right thing, and it it all goes crazy.
yeah,
Like I said, so now I'm off work for 2 or 3 months.
wow,
But yeah, these situations just present themselves. But what I found most disturbing was I, I don't know what's gone on next door. I don't know. As far as I know, um, it's a very caring family. The other boy's fine. He's great. But he did say that the young boy had been hallucinating and become violent. And when I saw him, he was his mother. Uh, his mother and one of the police officers had to restrain him. And he's only like a 10-year-old boy. He's only a small, skinny 10-year-old boy. I had to restrain him because he was screaming and going absolutely crazy. So uh, I don't know if that's a mental health issue or something a bit deeper than that.
yeah. And that's the dilemma, because you as the outside person, you never know if it's exactly what the kid is portraying, or if it's something very innocent. Just they were told something they didn't like and they decided to leave. Because I'll tell you this, with the kid in this scenario that I'm talking about, when I was talking to his father said he literally asked to borrow his mother's charger for the phone, and that was enough to make him mad enough to leave. And so it was, if I just talk to the kid may make it seem like, and I think is what he did to my son, is to make it seem like all these horrible things are happening at home, which could also be true. But here's the thing, like in America, and I'm not sure how this works in other countries, but in America, we have something called Child Protective Services, right? So this is where, if I knew about this, if I was in that loop when this kid decided to run away and then come by here, what I would have done with me being part of that, because this is American, this is kind of how you are supposed to do it here, is I would have contacted protective services, kind of made them aware, hey, this kid is running away, he's wanting to run away, or he's saying all these bad things are happening. Because once you get them in the loop, then they have powers, at least here in the United States, where they could go into the home and see if that's what's happening.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
can
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
mediate the situation. I don't know how it works in the UK, if there's anything along those lines, but
No,
that's
no,
what
no.
happens here.
I think it's pretty much the same when anything that involves um, a child well-being. I think it's pretty much the same. Um, there's several concerns. Um, uh, the next door flat is up on a balcony. There's like a 25-foot drop from the stairs, and the child was trying to climb over that. So there was some issues there. Um, but yeah, I think it's pretty much the same, Rob. Um, if there's any concerns, you can just pick up the phone and call the police or the child welfare and say, look, I've got some concerns. Just a few months ago, but the child seemed fine. He was kicking the ball in the yard with his brother. Um, we're just going out on the bicycles. No issues, but it just seems over the last few months, uh, something something's definitely happened, and it's had a huge effect on this young boy.
Let me ask you this, Lee, because I'll speak to myself as well. When you were a child, did you run away or think about it at least? Like as a young kid, like I could run away or I could just leave.
Oh
Had you
yeah,
ever thought
sure,
of, yeah?
sure, many
And I
times.
did. I
I,
did
I,
too.
I, I think mainly in my late teenage years, I thought, I just get out of here. I had some couple of incidents with my dad as I was becoming a mature
Yeah.
young
Yeah.
adult. Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I had the same thing. It was with my dad as well. And as soon as I learned the bus system, how to catch buses and get from here to there, I put together this elaborate plan, and I traveled across a few different cities to for my great escape. And I actually went through with it, and I ended up in another city, getting on one of these what they call a light rail. It's like the little small train, the city train, I guess what you call it. And as I'm getting off the city train, I had run out of bus fare, so I couldn't
Yeah,
make that
man, yeah.
last. I
Yeah,
couldn't get
it
to
all
my
works
final
until you run out of
destination.
money.
Yes, exactly. And then the police lady, she saw me. She didn't really want to intrude, but she could tell that I was probably running away because I had like two suitcases with me, and I was on the Great Escape. And she gave me some free bus tickets, and then she told me, she's like, you can always go home. You could do
Yeah,
this. She didn't
yeah,
tell me what to do. She gave me advice. She gave me tickets, and I continued on my journey. But when I look back now, it was probably a rash decision that I made. I probably didn't have to do it the way that I did, but as a kid, being dramatic and having that bumping heads going through the maturity thing, like you talked about, led me to end up doing it. Being older now, I look back and I was like, okay, that was silly, that was dumb. But then I also now look at other kids that do that and wonder if they're going through the same thing. Like, are they going through what I was going through, where they really would this one thing that was so small was the thing that broke the camel's back, and now I just have to go. And was it really that? See, that's where it's hard to, because you care as an adult, you care for kids, but then it's like you can't tell if you're being deceived or not on some level. So that's where this for child protective services comes in, because you just let them deal with it. They have your same interests at heart, where they feel they're going to care for the kid or care for the outcome, the home situation, all that. You kind of just hand it over to them because being if you handle it any other way as an adult, it could be a slippery slope. And that's what I told my kid in this current situation with him helping his friend. I'm like, you helped your friend and you kind of hid that fact from the adults. And now this kid is who knows where right now. And if something, God forbid, were to happen to this child, wherever this kid is now at, this kind of will sort of fall back on the lap of this household, because this household took a part in allowing him to come in and take the shower, or you know what I mean. And so that's where wanting to help kind of can be a bad thing, or can even though the intention isn't there to be that. And so that's what I had to try to instill in this child, like you can't just do that. And this could be the real world results for adults, because we are the adults. And that's where it gets kind of strange. So anytime I would be dealing with anything like this, it would go straight to child protective services, because it's their obligation to do right for the kid, and they get to go in the house and see what the living conditions are, and not just take the kids. They take the kid's word, but they go verify that this is the situation. Yeah. So I know what you mean. I don't know why that cop would have reacted to someone that's just essentially trying to help in that fashion. But we know historically cops sometimes abuse powers, and they because they have the authority to put their hands on you, then sometimes they'll just do that. We have so many cases of that. So it could be some of that. Um, I'm sorry that you had to go through that, when obviously the intent there is to help, care for the welfare of this child. Straight up. Oh, and I think we lost Lee. It looks like he fell offline. Maybe he'll pop back in. But yeah, that's man, that's just the dilemma, right? You want to help a kid, you really do, but there's, sometimes a kid can have you in a really bad position, and it's never advised to, if you can, unless you are dealing directly with that parent, the parent of the child, and the parent is putting input in on it. Okay, are you back? Let me see. Hold on. Okay, you are back. All right, it says you're online now. Okay, so you're good. Yeah, yeah, man. That's Paramar says, thank you for coming on and sharing that with us. We do appreciate that. Um, yeah, and I was saying, I think you were offline when I said this, but I hate that it had to get physical. I don't know why it would, but sometimes we know police officers historically put their hands on people when they really shouldn't do it. So many cases of
I,
it.
I'll tell you what happened, bro. I'll tell you what happened. I just stood up, and there were four police officers in the room, all with the webcam things on them. Um, I just stood up and I just, in the most gentlest gesture, just put my hand on this police officer's chest and said, "Can you just be quiet for a minute?" And he just grabbed hold of me and he put my arm up my back and broke my arm. And then he pushed me outside of the flat. And um, I said to him, "Can you help me? Can you help me? I can't move my arm. I can't move my arm." The police officers come out of the flat and they all thought it was a bit of a joke. I said, "Can you help me? I can't move my arm. I still can't move it, Rob. I can move my hand, but I can't move my arm. It's just flopping at the side of me. I've got it in a splint at the minute."
Wow.
And I said, "Can you help me?" He said, "I'll take you to the police station. Do you want to go to the police station?" I said, "Well, why? I've not done anything wrong." And I said, "Can you get me some help? I can't move my arm." And about this went on for about 5 minutes. Then they all left the scene and left me there with a broken arm. And I thought initially, just like a sprain or just like a stress injury. But as the evening went on, about 2 or 3 hours later, I thought something's not right here. So I called an ambulance, and I went to the hospital. 12 hours in accident and emergency. Took X-rays and scans. It's broken in two places. Um, so the mother witnessed this. The two young boys witnessed it. It was totally um, unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. Just so.
Yes. What do you
So,
do?
so,
What do you
so
plan on doing?
I've got solicitors on the case. They say I've got a pretty strong case.
Good. Good.
Because I did nothing wrong. I wasn't arrested. I wasn't doing any criminal offence or anything. I was just really there doing a, a welfare check on my neighbour and a son.
Let me ask you this, Lee. Do they wear body cams out there? The
Yeah,
police?
yeah.
Okay. I don't know how the FOIA works, but I would FOIA that. FOIA those
So
body
I've,
cams.
the solicitor is going to put in a it's a crap topic this to talk about, but the solicitor is going to put in a request for that footage because that will show everything. I didn't do anything. I wasn't violent. I wasn't aggressive. I wasn't using abusive language or nothing.
Yeah.
On the contrary, it was all very calm. I was trying to calm the situation down with the young boy, and this police officer assaulted me.
Yeah. You may find out that police officer has a history of doing things like that. That's usually what comes out of that. That they are so used to putting their hands on people because you told them to kind of butt out of it essentially, and he didn't like that, and so he decided to go hands on. You'll
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
find a history of him doing that.
I think I bruised his ego just by telling him to be. I said, "Can you just shut up for a minute while talk to the young lad?" And I think that bruised his ego, and he
Yeah.
just went off on one, you know.
Yeah, yeah. That's usually how it goes. Whenever you have, that's how you can easily bait those sort of officers into showing who they are by, challenging the authority. Because if they don't have a reason to put their hands on you or detain you, then they don't. You can pretty much say whatever you want. I know you can in America. That you can say you can cuss the police out. You can do everything up until they doing something where they might consider assault. So I don't know if
Li-
that's what they're going to try to say that you tried to assault them, or
Literally,
I don't know.
10 minutes before, he, I, I had an interview with him. I give him all my details. Um, Very polite, very friendly. Give him all my details. Told him about this situation, what was going on with this young boy, and no drama. Um, um, but I think, looking back on it now, he wanted to be in control of the situation, and me stepping up in a humane way kind of took that away from him, and I think that's what.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But,
Sounds
but,
like
but
it.
again, but again, my main concern now and then and still is the welfare of the people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Said very noble of you to step in and care in that fashion. Some people wouldn't have batted an eye. Some people would have ignored the child in the whole situation. So it shows how much you care for people, which is a really good thing. And yeah, yeah, you should be okay in that. And as long as laws work the same way they do here, they should be holding that officer accountable if he just put his hands on you for no reason. The body cams, that's a beautiful thing about body cams because it shows everything. The
Yeah,
camera won't lie.
yeah. Well, I said that to the solicitors. I said if they were recording, which I presume they would have been, um, that body cam footage will speak for itself. I did nothing wrong.
Well, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Keep being a good person, man. Keep looking out for other people. Keep looking out for other people. But at this point, especially, if you had to do the welfare check, I get it, those child protective services involved, and then let them make them aware of what happened and let them take it from here. And you should be good to go. And then when you win this case against the police department, then maybe we can do something fun. Maybe it'd be drinks on Lee when you win that
Oh,
court
I'm
case.
sure it will be. I'm sure it will be, bro. Okay, I'm going to check out, Rob. You take care, okay?
You too, man. Thank you so much for sharing with us, for real. Have a good one, Lee. All right, guys. So Lee showed us that it does work. You can come up on stage. So awesome stuff, Lee. That's a two in one right there. Gave us an awesome account and also showed us that it does work when you click the link to come on stage, guys. So I don't know what's wrong with everybody else because Lee was able to do this from all the way on the other side of the world. He's over in the UK and he was able to hop on stage right here. So awesome stuff, Lee. And yeah, obviously it just shows that you care about people, and that's the main thing. And really, the what really drives this channel is caring about other people. So I'm glad you shared that with us, and allowed me to in turn share uh, something that happened just yesterday, right here with me as well. And but like I said, I as a kid I ran away from home. This whole big dramatic thing. You probably could have did a movie or at least an episode on TV about it. How I planned this whole thing out, and I packed my bags, and I wrote a goodbye letter, and all that stuff. It was now that I look back, it was so funny. It was so funny, and I wasn't fooling anyone because when the police lady, officer lady, saw me when I was almost to my destination, she knew exactly what was going on, and she didn't really pry because I was like 13 years old, so I'm kind of like trying to be a man, sort of slash man as I'm getting up into my teenage years, and she sniffed it out right away and knew exactly what was going on, and gave me some bus tickets to make sure that if I changed my mind, I could hop back on that same bus and go back to where I started, or if it was really is a reason I needed to go, that I could continue on with my way, and that's what happened. But yeah, it's always a sticky situation when it deals with children. You just have to be able to handle the situation in the right way. Sounds like you did, Lee, and it sounds like hopefully these cops get their just dues from deciding to put their hands on people. You can't just walk around doing that. You can't just, because you have authority, quote unquote, being a police officer, you can't just use that authority to put your hands on people, because your feelings are hurt, because as he said, your ego is bruised. Can't do that. And we know all too well here in America, we're dealing with a lot of that, and sometimes it ends a lot worse than a broken arm. But a broken arm is enough to take that up and try to get what you deserve from that. So good luck with that, Lee. I hope it all works out. And yeah, definitely, that was deep. That was deep, but we have deep conversations here on this channel. It's what we do, right? And anything can happen in the late night call-in show because it's you calling in and talking about the things that you want to talk about. And this fits the bill right there. So good stuff, Lee. As we go ahead and look and see if anyone has any opinions on what was just said, let me go back in the chat here and see. Um, okay. See, Lovely Love, Dr. Love, touching an officer can be as simple as a pat on the arm. And that's the thing. I mean, because you could look at that and think that that could be looked at as a being aggressive. Nah, the camera's going to say it all. And, you know, an officer knows what assault is, although they have used something as simple and as meaningless as, some people talk and they touch when they talk, right? And it's just what some people do. And it doesn't come across offensive. It doesn't come across as aggressive or to be an assault. It's just what they do, and it's you can tell the mindset of the person uh, to be able to take something like that and turn it in to something else. And we know we've seen a lot of that too as well. Um, Barmer says that officer should be dismissed with no pay, and I agree. I agree. If it is as it is, then yeah, because it's like I said with Lee, there's likely going to be other times where this person has done that or worse to someone else for no reason at all. Lulu Bell says the police need to be named and shamed. Exactly, exactly. I agree with that too. Let's see. Yep, Stargazer was saying was finna ask about the body cam. Yeah, that's gonna tell the story right then and there, and that's going to tell the entire story. Poncho Zork came in saying, "Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Poncho Zork. Thanks for showing up." Um, I agree with this, Lovey Love. I say law enforcement needs intensive psyche valves over their training period to weed out the bad seeds. Yeah, yeah, because there's too many instances where they've done things, and when you look at the reasoning behind it, it just doesn't add up, or it doesn't come to a point where the actions that were taken to where it doesn't meet that, right? And so some of them are just literally power hungry sort of bullies. I don't know how else you can put it, right? Um, doesn't speak for them all, but it definitely there are ones out there, and it's self policing too, right, within their own organization, because as a partner to someone like that, you know this person gets overly aggressive, and sometimes you sit and allow that person to do that for whatever reason, whether it's some little thing within the police organization that where they just allow each other to do that. I will never understand it fully, but we know that they do it. We've seen it. Um, let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, see, Magnetic is saying if you test officer force might be justified. It really just depends. We'll know. We'll know more. I'm sure Lee may share with us. When the body cam, when he gets the body cam, but he says that it wasn't that. So there we go. Um, let's see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. I see somebody said something. Okay. All right. Well, that's the opinion on that. And so, yeah, anyone else can jump on stage whenever you want. I think we were in the middle of talking about these freaking asteroids, and just that whole thing. So we will be doing a show about that tomorrow. Um, we'll see what else do we have going on in the UFO world. I think we were about to talk about the drones. Was there something new there? Let me think here. I've been watching a lot of stuff. I can't recall. Let me see here. Paramar Rob's after school special on ABC. That's kind of what it was like. Now that I think about it, it was so like in the moment when I was a kid, I was so like, this has to happen. Like, there's no other way. This has to be the result. I have to go through with this. And it's funny because my brother was he's a few years younger than me. So, and then I had little younger brothers and sisters that were probably 8 years younger than me at the time, right? So we were babysitting, and I was like, okay, my brother's at an age right here where he could babysit them, where it's okay because it's a few hours till father gets off of work and my stepmother, and he'll be all right. He has it under control. Had this thing planned over. I made phone calls leading up the few days before I did the big escape. lined up these bus routes. Because we're not just talking about across town. If you know the Bay Area in California, the Bay Area is a metropolis, so it's a bunch of cities connected to each other. Like as soon as you leave the city, you're in this next city, and it's like that all throughout the Bay Area. So you are taking a transit system that's in one city, based in one city, and you're crossing city lines. And so you have to catch a few different transit systems, a few different little trains, the light rail trains is what we call them out here, and in order to get to that other city, which I guess if I'm looking at it now, it was probably about 50 miles, a 50-mile trip. Um, and I thought I had it. I thought I had the whole thing. I took my fishing pole. I took my fishing poles. I had a couple backpacks and bags, and I was gone. I was out of there. And it was so funny because about 2 or 3 days later, uh, I made it to my auntie's house in San Jose. I went, go if anyone's familiar with the Bay Area, I went from Fremont, California to San Jose, California by myself on this mission. And I get to San Jose, California. I'm like, wow, I made it. The relief is there. And then literally 2 days after I got there, my dad was down there ready to pick me back up to take me back where I started. Right. So what was all this for anyways, really? So yeah, that's part of being a kid, guys. It's part of being a kid. But it was really definitely funny. And yes, love is saying thank you, Lee, for being a child advocate. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And let's see. Rob, your thoughts on the quantum imaging of the egg UFO? I haven't seen it. Where's that at, DG? Do you have a link for it? Maybe we can bring it up. Let's see. It wasn't the BART though, lovely love. It was the actual light rail train. The BART is more like it's not the light rail train. The light rail train is kind of way slower and it's above ground the whole time. Um yeah, I've never actually been on the BART actually. Uh, okay, is this the Bigfoot Michigan Rob show? Yeah, we had a great time over there. Shout out to Bigfoot Michigan Rob and Krista. It was actually really fun. Had a really great conversation with them. And like I said, it's always fun being a guest instead of always a host. Um, it's different. Let's see. Okay. Uh, D Cypher said, Rob, with AI, you can manipulate body cam footage. Hopefully, they don't get to that point. I know they have to kind of catalog it and they have to like log it the moment they get back to the station or something along those lines where they don't really have time to touch it, where they physically don't get time to touch it, but maybe they'll figure out a way to do that at some point. I wouldn't doubt it, but um, I wouldn't think that that would be a thing though, because especially if you get uh, someone who is taking their own footage, right, of the incident, it pretty much needs to line up, and then it should also need to line up with the other officers' cameras as well. Because if I'm Lee, I'm getting all the officers who were there. I'm getting all their cameras, every single one of them, and we're going to figure this thing out. Let's see. Okay. crazy that we're already an hour and 30 minutes in right now. That's pretty crazy. Levy Love says her escape was from San Francisco to the Oakland airport to home. Home sweet home, North Carolina. Sounds about, yeah, sounds close to my great escape. But you know, I wasn't escaping anything really. There was some things that I didn't agree with, but you know, what does that really hold water as a teenager, right? I mean, is it really worth what you're doing? Is going through all the effort? And the answer is no. Now that I look back on it, even though I felt wronged, but it was just a kid being emotional, right? Just being emotional as a kid. It's essentially what that was. Stargazer got some Timu, got some night vision 4K infrared digital binoculars for $65. That might be worth the $65 gamble. Yeah, the I've never bought anything from Timu or Alibaba or AliExpress, any of those, because of that one small chance that you're buying from a fraudster. I see a lot of people get good stuff, and I'm like, I would never risk it. But I guess what you have to do is you have to use like a prepaid card or something where you only load that amount of money on there. So if you're okay with losing that amount, then it's okay, right? I think that's what that ends up being. Um, But I don't know. I've been on there. I've seen a lot of cool prices and deals, and I'm just like, should I do it? Should I do it? And I just never have done it. Free time, the egg UFO whistleblower. Okay, I see that link. Is that the full video for the Jake Barber thing? Is that what that is? Yeah. Let me try to see. I don't know. I'm going to on the fly right now try to see how I could add something in here. Let me see. Let me check this out. What is this? All right, just trying out a couple things here. I want to see if how I can add internet. So give me just a second here. Give me just a second here. All right, trying something on the fly, guys. Hold on. Uh, All right, I'll have to do that offline. I don't know how that will work. Let me see. Delete. Yeah, like I said, still playing with this. This setup is a lot more complicated, but it's actually a lot more in depth than what we were using before. So there's a lot of things I can do that I have not utilized on here yet. I know there are some games and setups that I can set up where we can do like giveaways and things of that nature. So we'll be implementing that stuff. I need to spend some time with this and get it all calibrated. Um, okay. All right. So let's see. Throw something else out there, guys, if you want to talk about something. If not, we'll just wrap this thing up. Wanted to make sure that we were able to at least get together and have a quick little conversation, which was cool because we were able to get to hear from Lee, which was actually awesome. Now we know the link does work for those out there who are having problems with it. I think the main thing it said is you need to use the Chrome browser in order to do that. So as long as you're doing that, you should be able to come up just like Lee did today. So no more excuses. And I will have the cable that I need for the phone calls, and we'll probably do that tomorrow. One thing I will say is that anyone who may be here for the first time, you're coming on a night where we're kind of just hanging out, and the show isn't technically what we would normally be doing because we'd have the phone lines up and we'd have a lot more people on stage coming in to talk about things. And because we just did this on the fly tonight, is we're not doing much in the moment, but we have a lot of things going on here, a lot of shows. Let me go ahead and bring those up here. I think I have that on this page. Go back. Okay, I don't have it on this slide, but we have my experience with the phenomenon, which I'm starting to build guests up for that again, so we can broadcast that show on this channel under this new software. Also, the normal social dig shows. I'm trying to curate that as well. And I just have, as long as I get the assets loaded in here and I can do a run through of the show, then I can start putting them out on a consistent basis. These late night shows are already set up, so they're pretty easy. So we'll think about doing these more consistently. The UFO news show we'll do when we have news. We'll do one tomorrow for the asteroid conversation. So make sure you're here for that. Outside of that, I just definitely want to thank Lil Camp 51 for becoming a member today. That was totally awesome. And I think there was probably something else that I missed. Let me go back here. Let me just make sure before we get out of here. Let me do this.
Bluetooth disconnected.
All right, we're getting ready to get up out of here. Let me get my go home music set up here, and then we'll be back to try this again tomorrow for the news show. Let's see, why is that only playing there?
Bluetooth connected.
All right. There we go. All right. So with that being said, we're just gonna go ahead and get this thing wrapped up. So we got some work to do on this. Make sure that the next time we have the show going, that the phone lines will be open. But now that we know that the links also work, then I expect to see some of you guys on stage. Come on and have the conversation with us like we normally do. So we can show the new people how this really goes down over here on the Social Dig, as we do have new people that did show up tonight. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't already. And we will be kicking things off tomorrow with the awesome conversation about these asteroids. And I think it's really a serious thing to look at. We'll talk about some of the dreams I've had and really what the threat is there. Is there a threat? We like to live life and kind of go on with our day to day like we should not perceive any threat. Like the only threats that are there are ones that we put ourselves in the way of, right? But we don't think about the things we don't have control over. Some of them have to do with UFO disclosure because we don't know some of these things are malevolent as some people believe they aren't, right? Some people say it's love and light. No malevolence to this at all. I beg to differ. Think we've talked about things that show that there actually is. And those are things we can't control, out of our control. Also, these asteroids are things that are out of our control. But, we just need to at least be aware and awaken to the fact, like, what would you do in a moment where something impacted on the other side of the globe? How would that affect us here where we're at, right here in America, or vice versa? Here in America, how does that affect others on the other side of the world? I think it's a real thing to think about. And what is humanity's plan for that? I can tell you what the government's plan is for that: going into bunkers, government continuity, and we'll see each other when the dust settles. That's their outlook on it. I'm telling you, what is your plan if something were to happen like that? I think that's going to be a really good thing to talk about tomorrow, and maybe we'll have some ideas of things that we could do. Because if you don't talk about it, how will you have a resolution, right? How will you ever know what options you have if you don't talk these things through? So we're going to do that and a lot more. Once again, I want to thank our members for today, which would be Frankie B, Will Count has joined tonight. Thank you so much. And Joanne, the Beekeeper, D. Nunley, Mackie M10, Flat 6, Miss Catherine Jones, Cosmic Joe Chronicles, W. Decker, or West Decker, Steel Pooh 69, Polly Rodderman. Remember, anything you put towards the show helps make this a better experience. We have the social shop, which we'll go ahead and run the commercial for before we get up out of here, as well as the Cash App, which is working 24/7. It's $ Mr. Rob G. You can put 25 cents towards the show. Anything you put towards the show makes sure that we have a better viewing experience. Outside of that, we definitely want to thank everybody for coming through tonight. It has been a fun little get together. We'll do this again tomorrow. Outside of that, check out the commercial, and then we'll get out of here. Take care. Welcome to the Social Shop, courtesy of the Social Dig. I am Mr. Rob G, and we are bringing you exclusive gear, and tonight's no different. We have Humanity t-shirts, the positive progression of humanity. Yes, you can go out into the world and proudly show everyone what humanity means to you. $32.99. And remember, if you're a social soldier, you get an additional 20% off the price. That's right. Being a social soldier gets you an additional 20% off. And keep in mind, depending where you are in the world, shipping fees and taxes will be applied. Bringing you exclusive gear right here at the Social Shop on the Social Dig.